Hello, video 7. This one has to do with how many stories to write. And what I mean by that is I usually have 2 or 3 projects going on at the same time. And, I forgot, Alan McCormick. I forgot to introduce myself. Hi. Okay, so I usually have 1 to 3 projects going on at the same time of a different type. And the reason that is so that whenever my imagination and my enthusiasm for one runs out, I can jump over to the other one that is different. And then I can pick up from there with something that's new. And as I work on the 3, or minimum of 2, I end up picking out which one is actually going to work and go into a full book, because you don't know whenever you start out with an idea exactly how things are going to be. You don't hear this from anyone else. And I got to thinking, if you start these things and they fail from a lack of content over and over and over again, then you get frustrated and go, well, I'm never going to be able to do this, and then you give up and it's over. Okay? No, start with a minimum of 3. Get a child's book, science fiction, period book, western, whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. And set those down and find a beginning, middle, and an end for each story, and then start to work them out. Whichever one, as they would say, strikes your fancy, then you use that one to go ahead and turn into the story. Now, as you're writing it, you're going to end up, if you're like me, where you get sort of burnt out on that one, and it's like, man, I don't even want to deal with these characters anymore right now. So leave that one, take a break for about a day, and then come back and work on one of the others, because it is a different environment that you're writing about. You'll be able to continue, and then once you're done with that, you can go to the next and you can keep going. So you're writing all the time, but you're not getting burnt out and beyond what you can handle. So that's what I do. I've got 2 books going on now. I've got one that's a companion to the New Moon book. It's the next one in the series. And then I've got another one that's a really great idea that I came up while I was doing that one, so I put it together as well. So always have more than one story to write and one type of story to write, and that way you can keep yourself going. You can keep yourself engaged, involved, whatever you want to call it, and you don't get wasted completely in just one thing and I can't do this and I quit and all of that. Okay, so, and also when you're jumping from one type of story to another, you're challenging yourself to get better. When I first started out, I would have 20,000 words, and now I can throw 80,000 words together that make sense and write a story. And how I did that was what I just said, going from one type of story to the next. Because the more you do, the more it adds on to, I'm going to call it your writing dictionary. Okay? As your own writing dictionary builds itself, and that's the only way to make that happen. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to write a story and then throw a little bit together, get frustrated, and quit. You're done if you do that. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to build your own personal writing dictionary and set all this together to where you're in a situation you've got a lot to pull from, and it's your stuff. It's not somebody else's. It's not, everyone has their own way of putting a story together. Some are super wordy, others are just enough to make it work. That's the way my were at the beginning. Now I'm getting to a nice medium point, I feel like, that I could tell the story with enough depth to really pull somebody into it. So you have to learn. You cannot, I don't know, even AI has to learn. It has to learn from us. So there's no place where you can go in and just have things happen. It's not just going to show up. Okay, you got to work on it. It really is, and you'll feel yourself changing. You'll feel yourself as you get deeper and deeper into it. That's what literally will happen. You will get further and further into writing and putting things together, and after a while you'll be amazed at what you can do that you couldn't do before. So don't give up. So work on three different ideas, three entirely different stories, and work on those until you build, I'm going to call, a writing dictionary within yourself. This computer has to be programmed, not the one in your hand. The one in your hand, it's a tool. It's not you. It's a tool. I want everyone to throw those things away. They shouldn't be in anyone's hand until you get to college. Okay? This mess of having them early on, everybody's got a pad and that's the way they think and reason and that's their common sense. No. You have to develop your own common sense as far as putting together a really good book. It's not going to happen right away. It takes time. And you have to put the time and effort into it to make it happen. Okay? So don't think this is an easy thing to do. At least it wasn't for me. Even though I've had 33 different jobs. Literally. Lived for 68 years. Gone through a lot of stuff that most people would never even see. I still had to build that ability to add enough description and things to pull the reader in. You're going to have to do the same thing. I don't know of anyone who just walk up and just make it happen. Maybe you can. Okay, maybe I'm the stick in the mud that has had a time having to build this. Okay, but I'm not just building stories. I'm building myself. So I want you to know that you have to build yourself and your own common sense and your own way of putting a story together as you're going. So it's not all verbs, it's not all nouns, it's not all word placement, all that. You can fix all that later. That's the easy part with the tools we have today. The hard part is getting the depth that you need as a writer to be able to tell the story. Okay? You know, it's just the way it is. It's just simply the truth. You can write Jane walked into the room, or you can write a whole page of what happened before, during, and after Jane walked into the room. Okay? You remember the well, for me, you probably didn't have this, but this is how old I am. But I had um, there's the see Jane run Jane run. When that's the way we learned how to read. Okay, so you don't write that way for a book. You start out that way, see Jane run, but you add on to it and realize there's more than just Jane running. And the only way you can do that is to write. Okay? So if you get frustrated and upset that your stuff does not look the way you want it to, fantastic. Fix it. That's great, because what that means is you've recognized there's a problem. You've recognized that there's something missing. That's fantastic. If you continue to write and never move forward, never gain anything, then I don't know. Maybe you started out as a fantastic genius from the start. Okay? But once you recognize the things in it that are failures or are missing, then as an adult, you step up and say, okay, I'm going to fix this. I'm going to find out. I'm going to use this wonderful machine that connects me to the whole world. I'm going to read behind other people, digest the information, make sense of it within myself, and then go and use it. Okay? So that's what has to happen. You can't just throw words down and expect them to be all right. Okay? So it is possible. It can happen. If a dummy like me can do it, anybody can do it. All you need is the desire to work and a good imagination. And all of us have that now. We have had the medium of television and movies, and well, they call it streaming now, of videos and things that people before myself did not have. So everything was made up from whatever was around them. We get to see the whole world now. So we've got information coming at us at all angles. Okay? Just build that writer dictionary within yourself, set everything up, and start using it and add to it more and more and more until you get to the point that whenever you see, you write a word with the descriptor in it and you go, okay, well, I don't like that. This was the same thing as the next sentence and the next. You can automatically pull from your mind, here's a different way to say forward. Here's a different way to say stepping. And you do that and you bring it down to where it's not the same thing over and over again. So as you put all that stuff together, it makes the work easier to read and easier to understand. But you've got to build that up. Okay? So use 2, 3 stories, set them up, get into them, and start learning. You are the creator of whatever universe you're going to make. Your universe is only as good as you are because you're making it. It's not just going to appear on the page. It's like people learning how to paint. You start with one color and you put the thing on the brush on the canvas, blue, one blue dot. Well, from that one blue dot, you make an entire landscape or something of that nature. It's the same thing with us writing books. We take one word, we put it down in the story, and then from that, we expand out until we have an entire portrait, an entire landscape of everything that's going on. And it's even more than that because we've got to bring out every single part that is going on with an individual or individuals within the story. So it is very complex. It is not something that's easy to do, and you have to really work at it. Okay? So don't let any of this stuff scare you or slow you down or stop you from what you have to do. Think about it as you're programming this mind up here, this computer, okay, to be as sharp and as strong as it can possibly be. And honestly, within yourself, you're going to have more confidence, more strength, and anything else. It's just the way it is. Okay? So add that to your life. Add that to your story creation life. And you can do so much better than if you're just writing one story. Because you can't get burnt out on one story. Okay? So try 2, try 3 different type and go through them. And you'll find out that it's not overwhelming. You're just switching from one to the other and continue to work and to build yourself up to be stronger than you were before. All right? I know you can do it. I want an entire generation of writers and creators for the simple reason those that went before me created what I have now. My generation created what you have now. You are responsible for creating what happens next. If no one has the imagination and the ability to look forward, if that box you're holding is your common sense and your mind, you can only go as far as it has. That's it. You're stopped. Don't let yourself be stopped. Go further than that. All right? Use the box as a tool, not the box as a brain. That's what worries me about this generation. We didn't have the box. We had to do everything on our own. So put the box down. Use it as a tool. Use your own brain as a way of creating something and moving this entire world forward, because that's who we are. That's what we do. What we dream as authors and dream as painters and dream as anyone else happens in the future. It's proven itself over and over and over again. It's an absolute fact. There's no woo mystery crap in it. It's what the human being is doing. What one human being can do, another can do. What one human being builds, another one can add on to it. And we can keep going. But if we stop building, you understand? That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid we're going to stop building. And if we don't develop our common sense, our imaginations, and the way to do things, we're just going to end at that point, and we won't go any further. And that is horrible to even think about. So please, develop your own strength in writing, just like I'm doing right now. I'm writing the companion story, and I started realizing what I was doing and developing my own strength. I thought, this is fantastic to tell whoever wants to see it. It works. It's working for me at my age. It'll certainly work for you at a younger age. Okay? And it's fantastic. It really is. All right? So enjoy yourself, challenge yourself, move forward, and put the box down. It's not your brain. It's not your common sense. Those things have to be developed. Okay? Program your own computer. It's the biggest, most fantastic one on the planet. Okay? Program that one. It'll benefit you in the long run. All right. Thank you.